Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, we're going to be talking about what's coming after gun running, including the unreleased content, what updates we can be expecting next, and a whole lot more. And I'm going to be trying to answer all the questions you guys had for me that you asked on Twitter. If you want to get involved in the next one, follow me. It'll be a link in the description, but we've got a lot to get to today, so let's not waste any more time, and let's get it started. So our first question today comes from Quick Draw Crazy, who says, do you think we will get a gun running part 2 with air vehicles? I've actually seen this rumor floated around a lot that Rockstar could be planning a gun running DLC part 2, because in my opinion, there were two big pieces from this DLC that were missing. The first piece was the aircrafts that you mentioned. There wasn't a new helicopter, there wasn't a new jet, there wasn't a new plane. We got all these vehicles that were designed to take out aircrafts, which, don't get me wrong, are great for the existing ones, but there was no new aircrafts to take out. It would have been fun to have a sort of cat and mouse game balancing those. And also, number two, there was no new weapons. Don't get me wrong, the Mark II weapons are fun, and I like the idea of upgrading them, but at the same rate, I think there's a lot of potential for not only new weapons, but weapons that were cut from the game, like the XM25 airburst launcher, the SCAR, the assault sniper rifle that we've even seen Michael holding in various promotional artwork for the game. So I think those are the two categories that I think Rockstar need to focus on when it comes to if they were to make a gun running part 2. Let me know right now in the comment section down below, if gun running 2 were to come out, what would you like to see be the focus on? Because I think part 1 did vehicles and the missions and the clothing and everything else pretty well, but I think there's a couple of key things that are definitely missing from this that would be awesome to see eventually included in something like a part 2 update. All right, moving on, our next question comes from Jobless Saints fan for the win, who says, do you think multiple of the cars in the files will release for the Independence Day DLC? That's obviously a good possibility because we haven't received any of the vehicles so far. And by the time you guys are watching this video, it's Sunday afternoon. It's basically been 2 weeks since gun running has come out. And it's very unusual for Rockstar to not introduce a tunables vehicle or two by the time we hit the 2-week mark. I mean, a week after Bikers came out, we had 2 new vehicles. A week after Import-Export, we had a new vehicle and a Christmas update. So yeah, I do think there is a possibility, especially with 8 cars left in the files. That's a lot for tunables. With Cunning Stunt Special Vehicle Circuit, we only had 3. I don't quite remember how many we had with Import-Export, but I think it was around the same amount. So it wouldn't surprise me if we got 2. If we did get 2, which ones would you like to see? Would you like to see the Vagner and the Cheetah Classic? Would you like to see the Vagner and the Night Shark? Also, let me know in the comment section down below what you would like to see too. Speaking of the Independence Day DLC, we have a question from Cameron who says, do you think Rockstar will add beer hats and ground fireworks this year for Independence Day? Cameron, that would be awesome. In fact, I would probably enjoy that more than the MOC liveries and gun camos. Those don't get me all that excited, but beer hats and ground fireworks would. There's so much fun to do with groups and with friends and with crew members, and the beer hats look awesome. They were so cool, and I don't know why Rockstar got rid of them. Speaking of things Rockstar got rid of, it would also be cool if they brought back like the special airdrops that would happen in lobbies and would have rare items like beer hats and clothing on the inside. I'm not quite too sure why they got rid of that because that was so much fun lobby hopping, hunting for those rare packages. It was so much fun, and I had a blast doing it with my friends. So yeah, the ground fireworks and the beer hats would be an amazing addition to the Independence Day DLC this year. I hope that's something they consider and something they do. Our next question comes from Vincent Hudson, who says, why do you think Rockstar didn't add the Vagner earlier this week? So Vincent, like myself and many others thought, we all believed that the Vagner was going to be coming out last Tuesday. Well, it didn't. And it's kind of strange because, as I mentioned earlier, Rockstar has 8 vehicles as well as a couple adversary modes still left in the tunable files of the gun running update. So the only thing that I could see is 2 things. Number 1, Rockstar wanted their first tunables update from gun running to be about the Independence Day DLC. And if that's the case, it makes sense because last week would have been way too early. Or number 2, they're trying to stretch out this content for as long as they can and figured that since gun running was only a week old, that players didn't necessarily need another vehicle. Those are my 2 guesses as to why it didn't happen. And I think that this means the current gun running DLC is going to last a long time. That's actually a great segue to our next question, which comes from Rasmus, who says, when do you think the next update is coming out? So in order to figure out when that's going to be coming out, I think we need to talk about how much we have left. 8 vehicles and at least 2 to 3 new adversary modes. And we already know that Rockstar skipped the first week. So I would say at a minimum, this tunables content is going to last 2 months. It could potentially last upwards of 3 months if Rockstar take any breaks or if they extend the weeks to 10 days or 14 days. So to me, that means that the rest of June, July, August, and possibly even a little bit of September is going to be covered by all the unreleased gunrunning content. So for me, the earliest in which we could see another update would be in October. Now, this would line up with what Rockstar has done in previous years. In 2015, they introduced lowriders in October. Last year, it was bikers in October. So it wouldn't surprise me if we don't get another update until we get some sort of DLC that comes out in October. That is going to be my best guess as to when it's going to be releasing. Now, as to what sort of content it could be, I have absolutely no clue. The next update that I want to see, I want it to be like an old Vinewood DLC where it is kind of a parody on famous movies. So, for example, they could add like the Deluxo in the game, which was made famous by Vice City. They could bring a bunch of other famous, cars into the game, like some more James Bond sort of vehicles. That, in my opinion, would be pretty cool. It would also give Rockstar the ability to unlock mansions in the Vinewood Hills. There's a lot of possibilities here, but I think that would be an awesome DLC theme. All right, our next 2 questions are kind of the same, so I'm going to answer them back to back. This first one comes from Bandana, who says, do you think or know if the new cars will become one of the fastest car in the game? Example, faster than the T20. And then Devil says, do you think the XA21 could be the new fastest supercar in GT Online? So because these vehicles aren't available in online yet, it is tough to tell. From what I've done in my brief testing, the Vagner is not going to be the fastest supercar. However, the XA21 is a beast. Now, I don't know to the extent and how great it's going to be performance-wise, but it was keeping up with the fastest cars in the game in the very brief and bare-bones test that I've done so far. I think it's best to wait on racing experts that know a little bit more than me to ultimately make that determination, but the XA21 is a beast. I think it's going to become my favorite supercar in the game. I love the way it sounds. The customization is absolutely incredible. So yeah, I do think there's a huge chance that it could be the new fastest supercar in the game. It's priced like it could be the new fastest supercar in the game, but even if it's not, from what I've seen so far, I absolutely love it. And I'm definitely going to be using it, whether it's the fastest or not at all. Our next question comes from Luca, who says, do you think we will have to unlock research for the new unreleased vehicles? So only some of them, Luca. That's actually a good question. The Insurgent Custom and the Technical Custom are going to be vehicles that require research. So I'm sure there's many of you guys right now that are done researching everything inside your bunkers. You're done. Well, when these new vehicles will be released, there's going to be an opportunity to do more research. So some people may have said, oh, I'm going to go sell my bunker. I don't need it anymore. Well, wait a minute. There's 2 more vehicles at least coming out that are going to require research for some of the items to be unlocked for them. However, as far as some of the other civilian vehicles go, like the XA21 and the Vagner, no, those are going to be regular old Los Santos custom shop vehicles that don't require research or anything like that. So if those are the only ones you're concerned about, then no, they're not going to have research and you won't have to worry about slowly unlocking any of their mods or upgrades. All right, and our final question today comes from Raven, who says, overall, are you happy with the gun running update? Is it as good as you expected? Personally, I don't enjoy it that much. So I'm really torn. I think all of the content is cool. I just think that it got a little bit stale because it was so similar to what we've already had. Because if you think about it, gun running is basically just reskinned bikers, except in my opinion, way more waiting. You have to wait a whole lot longer for the bunker to fill up on stock. You have to wait way longer for the research. It just seems it's like a big waiting simulator. Like I said, I think all the content is so cool. The MOC, the vehicles are epic, and I can't wait for the unreleased stuff. I just wish it was a little bit more fast-paced. Like you jump into the bunker, boom, 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 you're ready to go. But it just seems like it's a lot of waiting. And for me, that's a little unfortunate because I like fast-paced action. And it seems as if gun running is a little bit slower for my taste, but I still overall really enjoy the update. But anyways, that's all the questions that I'm going to be answering in this week's Q&A video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. As always, if you want to possibly be featured in the next one, all you got to do is go down in the description, follow me on Twitter, and use the hashtag AskBoss whenever I'm looking for Q&A questions, and you might find yourself featured in another video. If you guys did go on and enjoy this one, a like rating would of course be awesome though, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.